TFL EV is brought to you by Flow Charger, maker of reliable, high-quality charging stations for your electric vehicle.
Hey guys, let's have some fun with the new Ford F-150 Lightning. Behind me are two trucks, and they may look identical, but they're not, because this is the base entry-level Pro version of the Lightning, and here we have the Lariat. I think that's the one that's going to be the most popular, and this guy starts at about $39,000, and the Lariat starts at about $56,000, but as configured, the Pro is about $56,000 and the Lariat is $80,000. So let's see the difference between what I think is going to be, well, for sure is the least expensive Lightning, and of course the one that's going to be the most popular. So obviously you can start with the front. On the Pro version, it's relatively bare bones. You don't have the fancy schmancy diamond-like plate that differentiates the two trucks. You also probably don't have the same lighting signature, but that's okay, because who's going to miss that light that goes across here that you get on the Lariat? I think only keen-eyed observers of the Lightning will notice that. There's also, of course, a difference in tires and wheels. In fact, oftentimes the base versions of trucks get the more off-road worthy wheels. These are Michelin's. They're 275/65 18s. The Primacy XC. And if we go over to the Lariat, I think we may be looking at, let's go on this side, a little bit bigger of a wheel and tire package. Sure enough, these are Dynapros Hankook, and we're looking at a 275/60/20. So we've gone from an 18-inch wheel to a 20-inch wheel, and we've gone to a little bit more, shall I say, off-road worthy tire. Now, of course, there's more differences under the frunk, and the biggest difference is the Pro comes standard with a smaller battery. It gets 230 miles of range, whereas you can get this Lariat with the extended battery, and this one at 80,000 has it, so you're getting 320 miles of range. So about 100 more miles of range with the more expensive truck. But here's the cool part. Both of the trucks, in fact, any Lightning comes with a dual motor setup. So you'd think that that would be rear wheel drive and this would be all wheel drive, but it's not true. They're both all wheel drive. How cool is that? Now, obviously, there's going to be a big difference in the interior. So let's start with the more expensive one. I'll show you the interior and then we'll go to the Pro. So inside, you get this massive screen, which if you are familiar with a Ford Mach-E, will seem very familiar with. And check this out, this is VIN number 027. Base price $67,474, as tested $80,739. Horsepower 580, 775 pound-foot of torque. And this is antimatter blue. One of my favorite blues, actually. It's almost black in terms of its color. Of course, you get a nice leather-wrapped steering wheel. I assume this is wood from the plastic forest. You get this nice bronze contour. You also, when you start it up, get things like a very big central display with high-resolution graphics. And of course, here you get navigation and a lot of goodies like, well, let's go to the truck and show you things like different cameras. So there you go, you've got the surround camera, you've got the front-facing camera, and of course, different angles that you can look at. And this one is hauling, I don't know, whiskey barrels? The great thing about the lighter and cheaper truck is that it probably has a higher payload. Ford just announced that the Lightning gets up to 2,200 pounds of payload, so we'll see exactly what this Lariat gets when we look at the sticker on the way out to the Pro. The other, of course, difference is you got this really nice, I assume, leather, a giant sunroof. Let me open that up. Come on. Oh, that's a rear window. It's a giant sunroof. There we have it. That opens up the cabin and makes it much brighter. I'm usually not a big fan of sunroofs in trucks, but these new massive sunroofs that kind of Tesla pioneered do really let the sunlight in, and does give the cabin a much bigger feel. In terms of size, of course, they're both the same in terms of interior volume. They both have, let me see if I can find the key. Here it is. Actually, I don't need the key. I can just do it this way. They both have a frunk, so let me pop the frunk, and we'll take a look at the frunk, and then we'll take a look at the payload rating. But just a nicer place, a lot more things. For instance, you know, you've got Ford's Blue Cruise, which is a semi-autonomous geofence driving, self-driving ability. You've got the Pro Trailer Backup Assist, which allows you to back up trailers. And of course you have just a much nicer interior. Some hard plastics, but you know, French stitching and interesting materials. And then of course, one of my favorite features is this, the ability for this to turn into a workspace for your computer or your lunch. So let's go look at the front and see if there's any difference between the two. So inside here, you've got onboard power, a total of 9.6 kilowatts, and you've got 4 plug and of course a USB and USB-C plug, as well as a charger down here. Probably that's level 1 charging, of course. And then I promised you payload, so let's look at payload. The way the payload works, and you should know this, is that the more stuff you put in the truck, the more luxurious you make it, the less payload you end up with. So let's take a look what the sticker says. We're looking at 691 kilograms or 1,524 pounds of payload with a maximum of 2,200, like I said. And back here, we're hauling spring water vineyards, so either water or wine, but electric tailgate, which is pretty cool. Built-in step. You probably have seen these, so I'm not going to demonstrate it. And of course, more on board power back here if you need to, well, power your house. That's a whole different conversation. Check out my other video if you want to talk about that. So let's go over to the Pro, the base truck. Like I said, this would start at $39,000, but as tested, the sticker is a little bit higher. But let's check out the frunk. I'll open the frunk, and let's see if it's any different. Just like the Lariat, you get a key where you can open it remotely, and check this out. Onboard power as well, so we're not missing much there. In fact, the front is identical. Probably the most useful feature about this truck. And Ford said that it was really hard. You'd think that by getting rid of the engine, right, it would be simple to open this space, but there's a lot more that usually lives under here than just the engine. You know, like the HVAC system. And that was very hard to actually move everything back. Brake boosters, all that stuff. So let's look at the sticker on this guy. The payload is going to be, I believe, a lot higher because there's less goodies. So 935 kilograms or 263 pounds of payload. So 400 more pounds of payload. And let's look at the bed. Is this bed powered? I'm betting it's not. Nope. Yeah, it's traditional. But you still get no step, you still get the bottle opener for your favorite drink, and you still get onboard power, at least in this configuration, and a bunch of mulch. So, you know, the biggest difference, obviously, is also going to be in the lighting signature. Once again, from the back of the truck, you can see that the Lariat has a light strip that goes all the way across. Here you just have a traditional tailgate. Towing, it starts at about 7,000 pounds and goes up to 10,000 pounds. I'm not sure what the tow rating is on each of these, but it varies based on, once again, payload. So I suspect this one actually might tow more than the more expensive truck. All right, let's look at the inside. Let's look at the inside. And hold up, I'm doing a video. Give me a second. He's going to come and talk to me. We're doing this quickly as a one take so that we could be first.
I just went to 11:30.
Yes, so I know. I have to leave in 10 minutes.
Taking care of yourself.
I appreciate that.
I'm taking care of yourself.
Thank you. That's why we're doing it as a one take, because we have 10 more minutes here. So a lot of you in the previous video said that these videos are first, but they're a little thrown together. But we're trying to get as much content as possible in the short amount of time that we have access to these trucks. So obviously no giant sunroof, no leather steering wheel. This one's much more basic, no giant screen, but nevertheless, this is a good size screen. Integrated brake controller. Let's start the truck up. Same nice graphics, relatively interesting materials, this time not French stitching, but regular stitching. And like I said, less range, 221 miles of range on this truck versus the 320 on the extended range. And I believe this is not real leather, but you also get, the fold away gear selector. And then I wonder if this, big old cabin. But I don't think that this guy actually, or maybe it does fold. Hard to say. But I don't feel like I'm sitting in a truck that has, less value. The hard part about getting one of these is that Ford has basically gotten 200,000 reservations on the Lightning. In fact, they've built a own factory at the Rouge complex in Dearborn to manufacture the Lightning. And they're going to go, well, they've already gone into production, and they're going to start hitting your dealers probably in the next 2 weeks. But if you don't have a reservation on one, at least for the 22 model of the year, you're probably going to find it difficult to find one. Not only that, but I suspect, with the way that the current market is, that they're going to be sold for over sticker, probably some kind of market added value, which is always painful. But I have to say, I'm really impressed by the fact that, and you don't have a touchscreen camera, but let's see. Let's look at the cameras. Same cameras, just oriented vertically instead of horizontally. Pretty impressive. So, I feel like these things are going to sell like hotcakes. And Ford has made the commitment that they're going to build just as many Pros as they are going to build Platinums. So, let's look at the horsepower numbers. Same horsepower, 580, same pound-foot of torque, 775, 39,974 starting price. That one's going to be really hard to find. That's probably going to be a fleet sales model. And, as tested, 56,109. So what this vehicle includes is the equipment group, extended range battery, dual e-motor extended range battery. That's impressive. So you do have the extended range battery, Pro onboard power, max trailer towing package. So we're probably going to be at $10,000, and tough bed spray and liner, which is probably a $500 option, I'm guessing on that. So you can configure the $39,000 truck to be $56,000 if you want the longer range and if you want the onboard power. But in terms of its quality and its interior, I think if you're an XL or an XLT customer, you'll feel right at home. So let's finish up outside. And this is Ford's, basically, if you don't include some of the early stuff like the Focus, it's its third serious electric vehicle. So Ford started out with the Mach-E, obviously, then they went to the electric Transit, and now we've got the Ford F-150. And Ford has not doubled down, but I think tripled down on electrification. And you know what? I would be proud to own either of these trucks. So whether you're going to get the Pro version, or you're going to go to the XLT, or you're going to go to the Lariat, or end up in the Platinum, which we tested over a TFL truck, which is $93,000, I think you'll do very well. I don't feel like you're getting a lot less by spending a lot less. Anyway, check out alltfl.com for more news, views, and of course, Ford electric truck reviews. See you guys next time, and we will be towing with it. We will be taking it off-road. Those videos are coming soon, just not yet. Ciao.